Welcome to the Kling Connection Travel Talk podcast, where the world of travel comes to life through real conversations. Hosted by Sean Kling, each episode explores the highs and lows of life on the road, connecting with travelers, industry insiders, and digital nomads to uncover expert tips, budget hacks, and inspiring stories. Whether you're a weekend explorer, a full-time adventurer, or simply wanderlust curious, Sean brings first-hand advice, destination insights, and honest takes from those shaping the global travel scene. Join Sean Kling each week as Kling Connection connects the dots of the travel world, one unforgettable journey at a time.
Hey, Kling Connection fam. Welcome to another episode of the Kling Connection podcast. Today we have an amazing guest. Her name is Andrea Whaley, and she is a travel expert. Now, kind of interesting, we were talking before the show, and she is also, ready for this, drum roll, she is a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. So we're going to be talking a little bit about sports as well. But without further ado, Andrea, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
No, it's our honor. It's our pleasure. So let's kind of dive into this. And you know, I was busting your chops a little bit about the Buffalo Bills thing, but we'll talk some sports here a little bit later in the show. But the one thing I wanted to kind of get into is your traveling. And since we're a travel show and everything, tell us a little bit about your business. Now, your business is called Travel and Sea with Andrea LLC.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. So I initially got started under a host agency, and I just came across an ad on Facebook. And when I was younger, I didn't have the opportunity to travel a lot. So as I got a little older, it became very interesting to me. So with me seeing this ad to become a travel agent, one of the perks it said was that you get to travel and for free and things like that. So I was interested. So initially I got started under a host agency, and that was in 2018. And then I wanted to kind of just keep all my commissions to myself. So I wanted to become independent. And in 2023 is when I did that. So that's when Travel and Sea with Andrea was born. And I've been operating under my own brand. I don't have any employees. I'm just my own entity, but I've just been doing my own thing ever since then.
So you live up in the snow belt. So would imagine that Caribbean vacations and tropical locations might be kind of high on your destination of places to go.
Absolutely. All the time. It's weird because actually, I've never been to Europe and other places. That's kind of all I normally go is Mexico and the Caribbean. But I'm on my bucket list. I want to go to Europe.
So what inspired you to turn your personal love of travel into a full-fledged travel business? What was your inspiration?
Well, mostly because it's a great way to see the world. They have really, really good opportunities as a travel agent, just being in the travel industry for you to, you get good deals and you get to see the world, but also just to be a part of putting something together, like a great memory for somebody or a great vacation, being a part of that, being the person to be the glue to put that together. I love to be able to create that for somebody, to give my feedback, to give my expertise, for them to, for me to kind of influence them on that vacation, to go on the perfect vacation. So that's important to me. I love that part, just being able to expose people who have never been to certain places to some of the most memorable places and things and memories they'll ever have in their life.
So you worked for a company called Cruise Brothers. Is that correct? And what did, how did your experience at Cruise Brothers shape your approach to customer service in what you do?
It didn't really, I wouldn't say shape my approach to customer service, because Cruise Brothers was my host agency before I became independent. But I mean, we had training. A lot of it was on YouTube, or not YouTube, some webinars and things like that. But I kind of just shape my own way for customer service, because when I get an inquiry or something, I'm dealing with that client 101. You just have to be professional, but they didn't really give us any training or anything as far as that goes.
So when you have somebody approach you, or you hear somebody that wants to go on a trip, obviously you have a lot of passion. I hear it in your voice, and before the show, I could hear the passion in your voice about travel and just life in general. You're one of the most lively people we've had on this show, and that's why I can't wait to start talking sports with you as well. But when you hear somebody talk about going on a trip, when you hear somebody motivated, how do you approach that person? Like, say I'm sitting there and I'm saying, like, man, I really want to go to Roatan or something like that. How do you approach them with the idea of taking a trip, and how do you custom critique that trip to match their experience?
So when somebody approach me and they want to go on a trip, one of the things I love to do is if I know like some little known facts about that place that people don't know about, then I love to throw that at them so they can kind of get inspired to go. For instance, like Dubai they're one of the places, it's like, you think of luxury, but in Dubai, they're known for being the first to do a lot of things, or having the first or the biggest this or the biggest that. So I like to throw a lot of those facts at people. They have like the biggest Ferris wheel in the world. They have the biggest gold ring in the world. Obviously, the tallest building in the world is in Dubai. And there's so many different crazy facts about Dubai. So I try to get them inspired, because if they hear these little things, they're like, wow, now they want to see those things. So if I know some of them, but if not, then, I might have to get back with them on some research and just kind of do some research if it's a place I've never been or that I'm not really familiar with. But I do try to engage them by just giving them some facts and things like that they may not know about it, and it might want them to, look into it a little bit more.
So you're talking about Dubai, and Dubai is a pretty hot spot right now. I've met a bunch of people that have gone to Dubai. When I think the Middle East, I don't think of things like Dubai. I think of, what you see on television.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing an increase in certain areas like Dubai? And, I know London is very popular right now as well.
Yes, actually, Dubai has been on the rise for a while. I had the pleasure of going there a couple summers ago. It's absolutely beautiful, actually. There was some things that were a little different about it, but it's very beautiful. But you know what's on the rise now? Qatar and Saudi Arabia.
Oh, really?
Very interesting. Yes. And I know a lot of people have these opinions about those places, but if you ever go on your own, you will see. I've never been to Saudi Arabia or Qatar, so I want to make sure I say that, but I have been to Dubai. But one thing I do remember is all of like a lot of stereotypes and things that people were telling me that I'll experience. And when I went there, it wasn't anything like that. So my advice is do your research, obviously, but also don't miss out on a great opportunity to go somewhere based on things that you might think. Do some research, and obviously go to the tourist parts of that country or that space. So you will be, you'll be a tourist and you'll be having that tourist experience versus, being in danger and things like that. But I definitely want to go to Qatar. That's on that bucket list now. I really do.
So you've been to Dubai. What? I've never been to Dubai, so I'm now you've perked my interest. Like, what's it like? I mean, like, I imagine getting off the airplane, and I live in Florida, and you're in Buffalo, which is like night and day. You live in the snow belt, I live in the sun belt.
Yes.
But I would imagine even somebody from me, like living in Florida, getting to Dubai and that heat just hitting you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's Dubai like? Like, what's some of the stuff that stands out? It sounds so cool.
So, Sean, you're absolutely right. As far as the heat goes, it's very hot. I think at the most it was like over maybe about 120 degrees. We went in the summer, and it's very hot in the summer. Like that's like the very hot season. So I do not recommend going from July, August, like even June. I would not go in the summertime unless you are, you like heat. But my experience going there was, I went in very open-minded. We went to the desert. We did the barbecue. We rode on the camels. One thing, like as far as like some of the culture things, it's not recommended that you have like PDF, like you're holding hands and like that, things like that. But it's not against the law, because some people, they believe that you can't do that because it's against the law. It's frowned upon, but you can do it,
Right.
There's another thing about alcohol consumption. Some people, they believe you can't drink alcohol in United Emirates, but you can actually. You just have to have be in these designated spaces like hotels and things like that. So you can't obviously be outside of those designated spaces and consume alcohol, but there you can have a beverage and things like that. I had
So it's
alcohol.
akin to like cigarette areas in the United States. Like if you want to smoke someplace,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of the same. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's mostly like bars or like if they have a club or something like that, things like that. But like I don't know if we could have ordered it in a restaurant. I don't know if I even tried to actually. But there's basically spaces but outside of that, you won't be able to be out in the streets and things like that, drinking and consuming alcohol. One thing I did notice is super clean there. You can't, like, when I went to the mall, they have the biggest mall in the world, by the way, just while we're talking about their
Oh,
facts.
wow. Bigger than the Mall of America?
It's the biggest mall in the entire world.
Wow.
It's huge. It's humongous. And it's so clean. You can't find, how you go to like a mall and you look on the land and you see like some dust or whatever. You will not find a speck of dust in this huge mall ever. There's nothing. There's no dirt. There's no dust. There's nothing. And they're constantly wiping things down. It was so clean. It made me feel very uncomfortable.
Wow.
It's like,
And is it all luxury?
Well, not all of it, but there's a ton of luxury stores in it. They even had a Tim Hortons. I don't know if you guys have Tim Hortons in Florida.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it here.
It's a Canadian freaking coffee shop. I'm like, what? What is this doing here? And it's weird because I live in Buffalo. So, Canada is our neighbor to the north. It started in Canada and then came into Buffalo. To see it in Dubai, I was like, are you kidding me? But that was one of the cool things about it. A lot of people believe that they have the Ferrari police cars, which I heard they do. I didn't see that. But they have these luxury police cars supposedly too, which is super cool. The sand was like an orange color. So it wasn't like that, that white, beautiful color that you have in Florida. And it's not the same texture. Florida has that nice powdery, very soft. It's very gritty. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's like coarse and gritty. But it was nice. It was a really good experience. They have nightclubs just like any other, spot. The food was really good. The entertainment was great. They have like a little sundown boat ride that you could take at night. And they take you around the marina. That was pretty cool. So it's lots to do there. I want to go back actually and have more of a luxury experience.
I heard a lot of people from the UK go there. Was that your experience? Did you run into a lot of people from the UK or?
I did not. So when I went with a bunch of travel agents. So that's possibly why, because there was a big concentration of people from the US and all the groups that we were with, but it's possible. There's a lot of different, what another interesting fact I'm gonna tell you about Dubai, 80% of the people that live there are implanted there. Like they weren't born there. They're from different countries and they just go there to work, which is interesting because that's more than half of the people that live there are just there for work. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
You don't see any homelessness and things like that. I believe that they do have it, but they keep it so closed shut that you don't ever see it.
It's on the DL. It's on the DL. Yeah. They're not sharing it. It's not like you're going to like Philadelphia or New York or something.
You can't. You will not see it. I think it's against. They have some very interesting laws. It's against the law to have like a dirty car. You could get fined if your car is dirty. It's against the law to to spit and to litter and things like that. So their streets are very clean, very clean. Okay.
So how long were you there?
6 days.
6 days? Okay. And how long would you recommend for, like, if I was booking a trip through, I said, Andrea, I want to go to Dubai. How long would you say for somebody like me to go with my pale Irish skin that could get burnt at the second sun? What would you say?
I would recommend, honestly, I think with Dubai, 6 days, 7 days 8 at the most would be good, because you could see everything you want and do everything you want in those days. What I'm seeing a lot of people are doing, they're breaking up their time between Dubai and different areas that are around, and especially the Maldives. So people will take a flight over to the Maldives, and they'll end their trip in a relaxed and calm way in the Maldives. And so they'll break it up. So maybe 4 or 5 days in Dubai, 3 days in the Maldives, and then you go home all relaxing. So there's a lot of different options in that area, but I would say about 6 or 7 days is probably more than enough.
So the Maldives is also kind of a hot spot then, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah. Yes, it is. It's beautiful, but it could be expensive depending on how you do it. That's why people break it up and just do a few days there,
Right. Are you seeing that because of Instagram, everybody taking pictures of the Maldives and, hey, I'm here type of thing?
Yes, and I see a lot of requests for it, but some people, when they get their quote, they're not really interested anymore. But it could be affordable. It's just you have to make sure that you're realistic about what you want. You can't, expect some of these perks without paying for those perks. So, but it is affordable. It's a very hot spot. It's beautiful, and it's definitely someplace I think everyone should spend some time at some point in their life in.
So based off of, the time of this recording, what if I was going to say, just to say the two of us, you and I went to the Maldives, or we went to the UAE, what would the cost of those trips, generally being, if you're not going to, obviously the sky's the limit. You can spend $1 million if you want to, but the average Joe, blue collar guy, blue collar lady that wants to take this trip, what is something like that? And how long does it take to get from the United States there?
Ooh, that's a great question, Sean. So when I went, I took a red-eye flight. I went overnight. I think my flight took off about 11 p.m. And obviously there's time zone differences. So by the time I got there, it was 8 a.m. So you sleep the whole time. You wake up, you're in Dubai. So it's about 11 hours straight flight. No, I think it was 10 hours straight flight, something around 10, 11 hours from New York City. So you can get a straight flight. So to answer that question, and the price point, it depends. It's affordable. So like if you want like a package with all your excursions and all that included, your transfers, picking you up from the airport, dropping you back off. With myself, I could put that together for 2 people, depending on how long you want to go, starting at about $2,000, $3,000, because I have some, depending on the packages that some of my suppliers that I work with, they're offering. So if you hit me up at the right time, you might actually hit me up when they're having one of those specials. And then if you want to include the Maldives, obviously you have to add a few more $1,000 for that, depending on if you want a inclusive experience or just a, breakfast, or, depending on your experience. But if you combine them for maybe a 6-7 day experience, you could do probably a good $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, not with your plane ticket. You have to get that on your own, but you get your transports and all that. It could range up into that. And if you really want a really luxury experience, you could, sky's the limit, like you said.
Yeah, right. Now, is that per person, or is that per group? Like let's say 2 of us, it would be $5 per person total. Oh, wow, okay, that's not a bad price.
Dependent, so it could be, so depending on, I could say starting at.
Okay. And you probably, were lucky enough that when you went over, because you're self-employed, it's a write-off too, because you're going over for business. So to all our business people over there, if you can make it a business trip, it's a write-off.
Not all of it is, though. There's only a certain amount of hours you can write off. This is, interesting. And then but a lot of it is like, obviously, the plane ticket and some of that. When you're working, you can't take the whole day. It's only a certain amount of hours per day that you could say you're working, and you can write that off. But yes, It is a great way to, save some money, go see the world, get some new clients, people seeing you traveling. That's what they want to see. They want to see you traveling, and they you give them that little exposure, and next thing you know, you getting those inquiries. They want to come, and they want to, they want to go too. So that's the beauty of it.
So, I know this one question that everybody's going to ask, so I'm going to throw it out there. Tell me about the food.
Okay, are we talking about Dubai specific or
Talking
just in
about
general?
Dubai specific
Okay.
in that area. Yep.
One thing I loved about Dubai was the coffee, believe it or not. The coffee was amazing. And we were just talking to you and I about coffee just prior
Yep.
to the podcast. But they had like a Spanish, I want to say Spanish latte, which obviously if it's a Spanish latte, it's not specifically like their style coffee, but it was so good. And they use like condensed milk for it. So I love the coffee. It was delicious. The food was good. I had this fish, but the fish had the eyeballs still in it. And I never had that before.
Okay.
I was interested. Have you ever had a fish with eyeballs?
Yes, I actually have had fish with eyeballs in it in other countries, never in the United States, but when I've visited other places, it's kind of like, what is it? No,
Do you eat them? Oh,
no, I never eat the eyes.
I wasn't
No,
sure
no.
what I was supposed to do. I'm like, am I supposed to eat these? Like, what is going on? But I took, and then
you're
they
not
had the
sure?
bones.
Yeah. Next time, eat the eye.
I'm not eating those things. No, thank you.
No,
I mean,
they're
I'm
good
sure
for you. They're good for you.
I was gonna say, I'm sure there's some benefits to that, but I think I'm gonna pass on that. But they had like really, I mean, so it was different, obviously. Like, you know, when you are in the United States, we kind of clean our fish out and things like that. Their fish, they had the bones in it, the eyeballs, everything was still there. But it was really good. The only thing I didn't like, I don't like having to pick through my food. I just want to go in and eat it. You know, having to pick up the bones things was kind of like a little annoying.
You're always afraid you're going to choke or get something stuck in your mouth or something from with the bones. Yeah, it's I don't really fish.
You don't want to choke in Dubai either. I mean, come on. But the food was great. What else did I have? I had we had shrimps, and their shrimps were really big, but they had like all the stuff on it still, like the eyes and the tail. So you have to you gotta do some work when you eat there. You gotta peel, pluck. You gotta do some work, but the food was still good. What else did we eat? We had this lobster tail where they took all the lobster out, they chopped it up with cheese and all this deliciousness, and then they put it back in the lobster tail. So we had to like scoop that out and eat it. It was really good. I don't even know what they would call that, but it was so good. The barbecue was good.
Lobster. I love lobster. Oh, you had me at lobster tail. Lobster tail is one of my favorites.
So good. And you live in Florida, so you probably eat a lot of it, right?
Oh, we eat a lot of seafood here.
Oh my God. Yes. I wish I lived there. I'm so jealous because that's closer to the Caribbean. I could just take a cheaper flight. No, but we went to the desert and we had they prepared this big barbecue for us. So we had like chicken, we had lamb, which was interesting. We had beef, and then they had some rice that they prepared for us, but it's not like the rice that we eat. I don't remember the name of it, but it was very thin rice. It was really good. We had some beverages. I think we did have a couple. Did they prepare alcohol? I think we had alcohol beverages out there too. And it's so crazy because you're literally in the middle of nowhere, right? So when you look around, you don't see anything but desert. And that literally almost gave me a panic attack when I got out the van. Like, I was scared. Like, what if something happens? Like, where is the ambulance? Like, so, but I calmed down, you know, because I literally was about to have a panic attack, like, no lie. But the food was good. Like, I can't complain. It was really good. And obviously they have other options. If you don't want to eat their traditional food, you could get like, you know, your regular, they have like Italian restaurants, Asian restaurants. So you could have other options too.
So if I was interested in booking a trip to Dubai with you, where could I find you online to reach out to you and say, hey, Andrea, let's talk about, if maybe not Dubai, someplace else. Where are you at on social media and websites and stuff?
So I do have a website. It still is under construction, but it is www.travelseawithandrea.com. I also am on TikTok. All my handles are pretty much travel and C, and the C is SEA with Andrea, Andrea. And that's going to be on TikTok. I also have a Facebook page. And you can find me at Andrea Whaley on Facebook as well. Although I have a Facebook business page, I kind of do most of my work on my personal page. I've kind of turned that into my my travel business page. So you can find me on both. So Andrea Whaley on Facebook, and also Travel and See with Andrea on Facebook, and then TikTok, Instagram, Lady Drea Lady Drea O on Instagram, and then also I have Travel and See with Andrea on Instagram too. So I'm all over the place. Just Google me.
She's not hard to find, guys, and she's a delight to check out what she's got going on. Now, speaking of delights, you brought it up a couple times. Let's talk about the Caribbean. And are you seeing an influx of people doing more cruises and excursions, and even I would say not even cruises, just locational destinations to the Caribbean? I've noticed it's gone up a little bit on our end.
Yeah, I feel like the Caribbean is like a safe space for people, especially people that haven't ever traveled. That's the first place that they're going to be trying to go. I don't think there will ever be a point in life where people are not going to the Caribbean. It's going to always be upcoming and popping, period. Right? So, but there are some spaces in the Caribbean that people are not familiar with. Because if you think about it, people kind of go to the same spots, like Jamaica or, what else?
The Bahamas.
Stuff like that. But some places I would recommend is like Antigua and the Virgin Islands. Check out some of those islands. And Belize is up, and a lot of people are starting to travel more to Belize again. So those are places I want to check out. I haven't been to Belize. I have never been to Antigua. I haven't been to the Virgin Islands, actually. So that's on my bucket list. I have been to the Bahamas. I have been to Mexico. I haven't been to Jamaica yet either. I do love cruises. So I do a lot of the cruises, and most of them, I want to say, stop in Mexico that I've been on, and at the Bahamas. So I gotta kind of get out of that space.
Well, living in Florida, it's only I'm in Tampa, and if you want to go to the Bahamas, it takes me less time to fly to the Bahamas from Tampa than it does back to Philadelphia, where I grew up. It's an hour flight. It's that quick. It's in and out, and you land there. Well, actually, when we first started the Travel Channel, that was one of our first episodes, was the Bahamas, because it was a weekend getaway. You could go there on a Friday and come back on a Sunday.
That's so awesome. Have you ever took one of those charters, like where you get on the boat and go over to the Bahamas and come back?
So they have those out of Fort Lauderdale. And I have never done that, but a couple of my friends have. I know my brother has done it in the past. My brother's a big diver, so he was big into that. But I know people, but no, to answer your question, no. Have I ever done it? No. I would like to do it. It's about, I think they said 90 miles. It's really not that far.
The price is probably about the same as a flight, right, or less. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say, probably a couple $100. Yeah. Yeah, it would probably be that. I've never really priced it out, but now that you say that, maybe I'll give it a shot. I don't know. We got so many places to want to go, though. We spent a lot of time in the Caribbean, various different places. There's a few places we'd like to check out, but yeah, there's so much to see and do in the Caribbean. It's so different from island to island. We were at what's the one? I'm at a loss of words. Where all the banking goes. The English banks and stuff, that island. I'm drawing a blank. We really liked it there. It's where all the offshore accounts go, where they claim all the illegal people hide their money.
I thought that was Switzerland, though.
No, in the Caribbean.
When they say Swiss,
probably shoot myself in the foot because I'm a traveler and I can't remember the name of it.
Is it like St. Croix? What part of the Caribbean is it?
It's near Jamaica.
Is it Grenada?
No. It used to be part of the British colonies. Now I'm gonna have to look this up here, so I don't look dumb. Let's see here.
St. Mary?
Well, we were just in the Virgin Islands. We just did an episode. We were in Cozumel not that long ago. Hold on a second.
I'm like going like.
Let's see here.
This would be new to me because I don't think I've.
Well, we have the British Virgin Islands. That's not what I was talking about. The Virgin Islands is beautiful, by the way.
I sent a client there and he sent me the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, oh my God, what in the world? That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Dominica, Barbados, Trinidad, the Bahamas. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Just
Okay.
offshore banking. That's what it's known for. But anyway,
Okay.
we really liked that. It was really pretty. Cozumel was okay. Roatan, I was not really 100% sold on. When I saw a guy with an AK-47 walking around the gas station, I was like, if I wanted to get shot, I would have stayed in the Army.
That reminds me of Costa Rica.
Okay.
So have you ever been?
Yes.
Okay. So have you seen that there? When you go into have you ever been to like a bar there or the local thing where you hang out with the locals when you went to Costa Rica, or was it just strictly resort?
It was resort based. So you didn't, I mean, outside of the airport of seeing some guards and stuff like that, we didn't really spend a lot of time out in the population.
When I went on a fam trip, a familiarization trip with some travel agents, and we stayed in this big, huge, gorgeous house. And I'll send you some photos if you want to see it later. This house was probably 15,000 square feet. It was humongous. It was huge. And we all had our own rooms, private rooms. We had a private chef. We had like 3 pools, 2 hot tubs. It was a huge house. And one of the benefits was we lived, we were right with the locals. So at night, we would go and take a cab to the town and go to the bars. And one of the bars, when I went in, they had a big bill sign behind the bar. So, I was like, go Bills. I couldn't believe I saw that all the way to Costa Rica. So I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But what I noticed is every time we went into a bar, so a couple cool facts before I get into that. Costa Rica doesn't have a military. They don't have a president. Did you know that? They don't have a president. They don't have a military. They don't have a government pretty much. It's kind of interesting, but they do have police. So when we went into this bar, these cops came in with these, like you said, big AK-47s. And me and the girl I was with were like, what's going on? But everybody else didn't even budge. It was like normal to them. So we're like, oh my God, what is going on? And they said, oh, well, this is normal. They just come in here to check to see if the health, how the health department come in and they check and make sure your papers are off. That's what they were doing. At night, I got 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. What God? So I was like, what the heck? So that kind of scared me a little bit. And every bar we went to, it was almost like they were following us, because every time we went to a different spot, like a half an hour later, they would come in there. I don't know if it was the same ones. And everyone was just acting normal. I'm like, this is crazy. I don't think I can ever get used to that. But outside of that, but it reminds me of what you said.
Yep. Yeah. Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands is the name of the Grand Cayman Islands. That was the island. It took me a second. I'm a little slow. Hey, look, I'm a Gen X, so
no, okay. No,
get a little old.
So that's where the money wants. Okay, the money be going. All right.
Yeah, the money's there, and they have like statues like King Edward, and it's interesting. I liked it. It was very pretty though, and if you get a chance to go to the Cayman Islands, it's very nice. It's very nice. So when you're booking your trips for people, what do you think are like the top 3 things that people look at when they book a trip? Is it cost? Is it location? Is it climate? Is it accountability? Is it safety? Is it health insurance? What would you say are the top 3 things?
So I think the top 3 differs from the different kinds of clients you have. Because if you book in somebody that's like luxury, a lot of them, they don't care about some of that stuff, right? They just care about the experience. They don't care about the cost. But I would say in general, some of them, especially with things going up and inflation, they do care about cost. They want to make sure that it's affordable. A lot of them, they want to make sure that they could be able to make payments on it, because some people can't pay it all off at one time, which I understand. So sometimes if you have that option, that's great, that you could give them an option to make payments to cover that and pay it off. They definitely want to make sure that they're safe. That's for sure. Some people, like we talked about Dubai, a lot of people, they were a little skeptical about that. They're just like, well, I heard this and I heard that. So obviously, like you said, when you went to Costa Rica, you stayed on a resort. So you didn't wander off and be in areas where you might not be safe. So it's important to talk about that. Like, do you want to stay in a villa or do you want to stay in a resort? Because if you stay in a villa, it's not going to be as safe as a resort because you're more out in the open. But that's something you have to make sure that you decide on your own, for what the experience you want. They are definitely a lot of times worried about the time of year when they go, the weather, like
hurricanes and
Costa
stuff.
Rica.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You go in September, it's rain season. Even though we went in September, the rain was beautiful. I loved it. It was so nice. But some days it was wet and then some days it was really sunny. So you want to make sure that if you don't mind some of the weather being like weird, then you got to make sure that you do at least ask your travel advisor about when is the best time to go, depending on what kind of weather you're looking to experience. So I would say those three things: weather, the cost. Those are going to be the things that they are looking for the most, for them to have the experience that they're looking for. They want to have a good experience, and they want to make sure it costs not a lot and that the weather is good.
So you brought up an interesting point about travel advisor. If I'm new into this, new into traveling, and I need somebody as an advisor to help me out, because, I'm old enough to remember a day before the internet where you went to a travel agency, you sat down with was usually, a manager or something like that. And they went through catalogs and you picked things out and stuff. But today's world's, different. I mean, I imagine you can still do that to some extent with some people, but today's world's different. You go online and you don't know what you're really booking. It's kind of a crapshoot, especially if you're inexperienced. If you're somebody that's been around the world, you might have a working knowledge. But you brought up travel advisor. As far as a travel advisor, if I'm new into the traveling scene, what are some things I want to look for into a good travel advisor, a quality travel advisor, and somebody that's got our best interest involved as far as the trip goes and stuff?
So I would imagine you would want to make sure when you're looking for a travel advisor, you want to make sure that depending on the place you want to go, that they have some experience booking those type of trips. If you're trying to book a group trip, ask them, have you booked groups? What is your experience? You want to make sure that they have some experience booking the type of trip that you want to go on. So that's important. You want to make sure that they fit your niche that you're looking to go on. If you, like I said, again, romantic trips versus family versus, make sure that they have that experience. You also want to make sure that you go and make sure that you read their comments and the ratings to see some things people may have said about them. I know everybody has like a bad rating now every now and then. So I don't think that you should let that distract you if you see one or two. But if they have a crap load of poor reviews and things like that, that's probably a red flag that you kind of want to go somewhere else. But just want to make sure that, quality versus quantity. Make sure that they're attentive to their clients. Make sure the reviews are good. Make sure that they are specialized or that they can handle the requests that you're giving them. And that's important.
So what does travel mean to you personally? And how has that changed your view of the world? I know it has changed my view of the world before I started to travel, but I always like to ask this to all the guests.
What travel means to me, that is your outlet to see the world. The world is so big. There's so many crevices and little parts of the world, especially those little unique spots that no one ever heard of, no one's ever seen. That's what travel means to me. It's discovery. Travel is discovery. And it's literally something out there in every trip for you to experience that you've never experienced before. So that's the first. And what was the second part of your question?
And like,
You said, what
how
does
has
it
it
mean?
changed? And how has it changed your worldview? Like, if somebody just
Oh,
stays in a small town, they don't have much of a worldview.
yeah. What it has done for me as far as my worldview, it has opened my eyes a lot, because like, again, I want to keep going back to that Dubai trip and things like that. There's like a lot of people that have these opinions about places and they never been there, but it shows you the beauty of that and how it's not true, a lot of that stuff. So it changed my worldview, because going in, I might have had an opinion, but when I go home, my opinion has changed. I don't think that anymore, or those things are not, I kind of like reverse some of my ignorance, if you want to say. But I think it's important to just on your own go out. Even if you may have heard things about a place, go and experience it for yourself. Check it out. Do your research. Obviously, do your research. Make sure you're staying in a place where you're safe. But you don't want to miss out on opportunity to go to a place that's really cool and see and experience things that are like super cool that you may not ever be able to do. So
Right. So you've been to the Middle East, you've been to the Caribbean. Now I'm going to ask you a really off the wall one. Have you ever been to Canada on vacation?
yes, I was just there in November. I go to Canada a lot. It's only literally the border is like 40 minutes from my house.
Okay. And
So
what's that like? I mean, you go up for winter, obviously. If you're going up in November, you going skiing, you just going hanging out in the snow, you're going up for the holidays.
I never went skiing ever in my life, but I do want to do a ski trip. I want to put together a group ski trip for beginners, because I want to learn how to ski. That's like on my bucket list. But normally, when I went in November, it was for a girls trip, and I went to Toronto, so that's like a 2-hour drive from Buffalo.
And you were behaved, right? You were behaved. There was
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. We was it a Bill? I think it was a Bills game playing. We went to go see the game. Obviously, we have to do that. But it's cool up there. The people are super friendly, very friendly. They have a lot of Asian, like in Toronto, a lot of Asian influence. So you see a ton of like sushi, a lot of boba tea, a lot of Asian. There's a huge Asian influence and a lot of Indian influence too. So you have a lot of Indian restaurants. A big Caribbean influence too, actually. So if you ever want like oxtails or anything like that, they have all that. That's what I like about Canada. It's really diverse. Any type of food you want, you could find it. Like it's gonna be there. They have like Russian food, they have everything. It's everything here. But it's pretty cool. It's like a nice little vacation away from home within a couple hours drive. People that live in this area, they could just drive on over.
Now, like, what about trips into the United States? We've talked international, but if I'm like, I contact you and I want to go to Hawaii or Alaska or Colorado or something, where are you seeing a lot of people going, and what type of excursions and events are people that decide not to travel international? They want to travel domestically.
I've been to Hawaii. I like Hawaii. I do book people like for Florida a lot. My daughter actually just returned back from there. Internationally, if there's like an event going on in like Dallas or something like that, people might want to go out there. Mostly for events or like even wine tastings and things like that, like and Nepal, whatever, or even not Nepal, Napa. Is it Napa? Was it in
California, Napa Valley?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I've been to Hawaii myself, and I like Hawaii. Hawaii is very they have a big Asian influence too. Their staple food is spam. I didn't know that until I went there. Did you know that? I
knew that. They have spam cook-offs, and it's crazy, like what they got going on.
I was like, what?
That derives from World War II, from when they used to have to send the food over there.
Somebody told me that, and it's
during
still
the war.
That's crazy. It's still popping out there. Like even they have sushi with spam in it.
Yeah, that's a bit overkill. I don't know if I would. Sushi and
but
spam.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. But some of the things that I did when I was there, I went to the oh my God, what is it's not the World War II, but it's the Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor, yeah.
That was awesome. To be on those ships, you could walk through them, you could see the missiles. and then you're in the ocean, because it's like right on the, so it was really cool. It was kind of sad, just like knowing like the history of it and walking through it, knowing that, people, lost their life and things like that. But it was also a part of it. It was cool. It was cool to do that. We went to the beach. We did like a catamaran type of boat ride. What else did we do? It was my birthday too, so I think some of it I might be a blur.
Well, that happens.
I'm like, what did I do? What else? I know. Oh my gosh, I know we did a lot, but I can't remember because I was there for 10 days. So,
well, I've never been to Hawaii, so you got one up on me. Never been there yet.
But you know what? We broke up the 10 days. We went to California for a few days before Hawaii, right?
Okay.
Interesting thing, because we were talking about domestic trips. We stayed in San Diego, so we went to the Green Light District.
Yep.
But they have, my last name is Whaley. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Whaley house. They have this haunted house that is out there called the Whaley house. And I had to check it out because my last name is Whaley. My last name is so rare, like to have a haunted house with my last name. I'm going to go check it out.
In Southern California, nonetheless.
It's crazy because the history of this house, I'm going to tell you a little story. The history of this house, I had to go, do my research. So I'm like, I want to know more about it. The guy named Thomas Whaley, who founded the house during the gold rush, he went down here to try to find gold, and he ended up founding this house. But that house was the first and the earliest establishment in San Diego. So it was the first school, the first courthouse. They held a lot of businesses in that house so that was like the founding place for everything in that town. Everybody went to this house. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
When I went and did more research, he named his first kid after his best friend, which was his lawyer. I forgot the kid's first name, but the last name of the kid he gave from the best friend, which is Hinton, Hinton. And the weird part is my last name is from my mom because my mom wanted my granddad's name to last. But my father's last name, which I would have had if she would have gave me my dad's last name, is Hinton. How
and
weird.
No relation. And no relation.
No. And how weird that they're both random names. It's not like Stevenson or Johnson. They're random names, Hinton and Whaley. So both of my names are tied in that home. Isn't that crazy?
So have you done any further research to see if maybe you might be related or?
Well, they're white, so I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I did my research on my mom's side, and I didn't see anything as far as time as well. But I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know if I'm related to them, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it's a great story. And especially the irony of the two last names.
That's crazy. I'm like, maybe I have some stake in that house. They leave me a little something in my will.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. When you do some research and related, maybe you might have some interest in this house.
Well, it's weird. I'm from New York, but my family's from the South, but they migrated to New York. But Thomas Whaley actually was from New York City. So that's interesting.
Wow. Okay.
He migrated all the way to California.
So I have to ask this then. Because you've also brought this up about group trips. If I'm say the Kling Connection, our show, decides to sponsor a group trip, how do we go about doing that with you? If we wanted to hire you to say book a group trip to Scotland, let's just use that as an example. How will we do that?
So any of my social media outlets, someone could send me a message and let me know that they're interested. I could get them started with some of the work for that, but also on my Facebook Travel and See with Andrea page, when you go to message me, there's a inquiry form that pops up in the message for you to fill out, so I can have some information prior to getting back to you to know what you're looking for. Do some research, and then when we do talk, I won't be going in blindsided. I could actually have something prepared for you. But any one of my social media outlets, you could email me. Also, Andrea at Travel and See with Andrea and that's SEA. So Andrea, ANDREA, @ travel and SEA with ANDREA. Email me, send me an inquiry, and I'll be happy to try to accommodate you and get that started for you.
I know that we've talked about doing group trips for 2026, so we might be in touch with you. We'll have to definitely stay in touch. We've talked about setting up some Kling Connection group trips. Haven't really picked up a location yet. We want to kind of start doing that next year, so we may be in touch. Now,
Oh, I love that.
I have one question for you. Living in a city that has gone to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row,
You
and
better
not
with that.
won 4 times in a row.
I was a kid when that happened, so don't ask me about that. I was a child. I was a kid. You cannot ask me about that. I was a minor.
Now, but now you guys have arguably, in my humble opinion, and in my opinion means the same as anybody else, I think the best quarterback in the NFL, but with Josh Allen. What do you see good for Buffalo this season? Do you think they're going all the way?
Look, you gotta look at these last few years, Sean. Like we're very resilient. Like we're gonna keep trying no matter what. But let's talk about a couple of those last games that we almost made it to the Super Bowl those last couple of years.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of these plays that they kind of messed up and got wrong. Okay? Because know we were supposed to go to the Super Bowl 2 years ago? And
2 years ago.
So, things happen, whatever. But one thing about us, we're not going to give up.
Right.
We're never going to give up. We're just going to keep getting better and better. And even though I forgot the old coach name. He passed away some years ago, but we're going to make him proud either way. We have to. We're this close. We have to. It is on our bucket list. We have to do this. It's fun, even though sometimes when we lose, we do make it pretty far. I mean, we make it all the way to the end of the season these last couple of years, especially with Josh Allen being our quarterback. I feel like that we just have to keep mastering our plan, and we'll do great. But it's fun either way. Rather we make it to the Super Bowl or we don't. We have a really great season. It's especially the games in Buffalo is so fun. Like I love the tailgating. It's amazing.
I'll tell you what, because Josh Allen, in my opinion, is not only the best quarterback playing. I'm not going to say the best quarterback in NFL history because he's not, but I'm going to say, in my opinion, the best quarterback currently playing. But I would say that, not only that is he seems like a pretty stand-up guy. You don't really hear a lot of controversy around him. He's not out, getting arrested. He's not out causing any problems. He just seems like he's trying to do the right thing, play some football, be a leader for his team, perform for the city. I just have a lot of respect for him. And then you see the weapons they put around him. And he's had some good weapons. Buffalo is really the best I've seen them since the 90s. Really.
Right.
They were a laughing stock of the NFL for years, and now it's come full circle.
Well, I have to agree with you. We really love Josh Allen. He is a gift, and he's from California originally. We love him. He doesn't get involved with a lot of the craziness. He doesn't get caught up in the clout and all that craziness that's on the internet. That's what I like about him. He's such a down-to-earth person. I saw him do someone posted a video of him doing some signings, whether he was doing some autographs for some of his fans, and he was just so genuine. He does a lot of charity work. He goes into hospitals and with kids that are sick and dying and with cancer and things like that. He'll go in and talk to them and cheer them up just to see them light up from talking to him. He is an amazing person. I'm sure other NFL players do that too. Yeah. But he is an amazing person. I really think that he is a great asset to our team. I can't wait to see what he does this season. I think he's going to be amazing, and I'm just really excited.
So what do they play now? There's is it 18 games, 17 games? I know they added games of the season.
You're asking me? I'm a girl. I don't know those type of things. You can't ask me that. Females don't pay attention to that.
That is true. Well, it's not always true. I've met some women that know more about football than me, especially in fantasy football.
Would your wife know the answer to that question?
I plead the fifth.
Okay, because it's weird when I'm watching football, right? It's like a different lingo. Like I know the basics, right? So I'll go to like a local like pub or something to watch it, and then like somebody will say something, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then they get mad because they got to tell me what it means, or the flags and all that. I still right now to this day don't understand the whole flag lingo.
Oh, like the red flag, yellow flag.
Yeah, when they're like, oh, that's a flag. I'm like, what? So don't ask me anything other than touchdown, field. Like I know those things. But
safety, yeah.
I don't even know that. What is safety? I don't see.
Well, that's when you like knock somebody else into the end zone that's on the opposing team, and you get a safety point. Yeah. Like you knock them in and so they're not common. They happen during the season. It's not just something that happens every game.
We can't ask a girl no question about how many games in it. I don't know.
So getting back a little on the travel here, where do we see you going in the future? Where in say the next year, where are your plans to travel?
So I haven't traveled this year myself at all, and I'm very upset about that. I had a trip to South Africa that I wanted to take, and I canceled it, and there was another trip to, I forgot what that all was, but I haven't made it to Europe yet. I want to go to Europe, so right now I have a couple of fam trips that I'm going to see if I want to go. One is to Tuscany. I want to go to Greece so bad. So I kind of want to venture out to Europe, even if it's a solo trip by myself, because part of the thing is when you're trying to do travel with other people, it becomes a little complicated. You gotta, this person don't got this much PTO, this one does, and this, it's just weird. So I kind of just want to do my own thing, but I do want to go to Europe. So on my list, I do want to go to Italy. My daughter is dating a guy that's from Buffalo, but he's in the military and he lives in Italy.
Okay.
Because of the military. And I asked her, because she's going to go in November. I'm like, can me and your little brother go? She's like, absolutely not. Because I'm like, we can do our own thing. We can have our own hotel, but we can all hang out. And she didn't want that. So
you don't take mom on vacation when you got a boyfriend in Italy.
Come on now. Whose side are you on, man?
I'm on the daughter's side.
I just figured this would be my way to go to Italy because I haven't been. But okay, so anyways, I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go to Italy. I want to go to Greece. I do want to go back to the Middle East or Qatar. I don't know if I'm ready for that in 2026, but I do want to visit Qatar. That's one of my things. But I don't know. And I've never been skiing. You brought that up earlier. I do kind of want to go skiing, but I don't know where yet.
Well, you could try like the Bunny Hills. Like you're in New York, so there's got to be some skiing up in like the Adirondacks or something like that.
I kind of want to maybe Canada. I don't want to do it here.
Oh, I totally get that.
Montreal, like somewhere that's exotic. I don't want to go to the United States and ski.
So if you had one thing, if you were talking to a young person that's starting their life out, and you could give them one advice about travel, and you could look at them and pass your knowledge on based off of everything you've worked on, your life experience, the places you've been, what would you tell them about travel?
The one thing I would say that's immediately came to my mind when you asked that is just start traveling as soon as possible. Because like me, I got started late in life. I didn't travel when I was in my 20s, and I wasn't exposed to it. My mom never took us on vacation. I never went on a vacation with my mom ever in my life. My family, we never went on vacation together. But I exposed my daughter early when she was in high school to go on trips. She's 20. That girl traveled more than anybody I know since she was like 16. She gets that passport and she abuses it. So I love that. Go as soon as you can on trips, and don't let the fact that no one wants to go with you stop you. Just do your research, be safe. If you want to go on your own, do that. But that was part of my problem. Nobody ever wanted to go, nobody ever had money. And it took me into my 30s to start traveling because of those reasons. If you're young, don't let that stop you. Go on your vacation, start early, book those trips, keep your passport updated, and just see the world. So by the time you are well into your 30s and 40s, you have already been halfway around the world, and you're still working on the other half.
So Andrea, again, if people want to find you online, book a trip through you, or just live vicariously through you, where can they find you?
You could find me anywhere at Travel and See SEA with Andrea. So that's going to be on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, Travel and See, the @ first, Travel and SEA with Andrea. You can find me on Facebook at Andrea Whaley, ANDREA WHALEY. And I also have a Travel and See business page. So that's going to be the same, Travel and See SEA with Andrea. On Facebook as the group. I have a group there. Pretty much you can email me as well. Andrea @ Travel and SEA with Andrea. But I'm everywhere. That's all you got to do. If you want to travel and see with me, look me up.
Andrea Whaley, it's been awesome having you on the show. You are a light in the world that needs to be shared with many people, and you've definitely made my day today filming this. You're definitely a go-getter and somebody that people really need to work with, and we really appreciate you on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Sharon. I hope you guys are going to kill it. I can't wait to see the rest of your content. I'm going to definitely go look up some of your other podcasts. I want to see it. And I'm going to follow you also on social media too, because you're on, you say you're on YouTube? Do you have a Facebook page?
Yep. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Rumble. We're all over the place.
All right. I'm going to look at some of this content. Check it out.
And if you like what you saw and you just heard me list a bunch of the places we are, make sure to go there and like, share, and subscribe. And also head over to Andrea's pages and like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on all our adventures, and make sure that you don't miss that travel bug that sometimes life tries to chase away. Mm-hmm. And until next time, have fun storming the castle.
That's a wrap on today's episode of the Kling Connection Travel Talks podcast.